Wei has been giving Breathe a lot of attention up towards that top side. It is a counter matchup. You have the setup there with your stun. Xiaohu as well following up. So RNG giving us comfort, nostalgia, and something standard. Gen.G, I mean, it's standard for them, but...
And I think prep is so incredibly important here because Peanut is very, very creative on Poppy, early game pathing, and you have so much CC setup on the bottom side. Could be incredibly easy. Now he can match top side. He can try to limit the ability to snowball top side, or he can just go straight down to bot and leverage this incredibly unique pick in the Singed.
Couple things to keep our eyes on. One, what Lyric just touched on. How much can they get Breathe ahead? Will Wei path towards the top side and try and help them out? Second one is, I just touched on the Singed flip, the Poppy W. That's even an Azir ult as well. They have so many knockbacks. We have to keep track of how RNG's top jungle can actually get on top of the carries of Gen.G. The Leona can also be blocked, so Gen.G have this turtle shell around them with an Azir and a Senna in the middle.
The chants from RNG fans are deafening. Of course, though, as we get ready for this game, important to remember that Prime Gaming is giving away 150,000 RP to multiple fans each day. You can head over to primegamingworlds22.com to enter, and make sure to put in today's secret code to get bonus entries. Type !Prime giveaway in chat to learn a little bit more. And guys, we're going to learn a little bit more about Singebot, because I know that, I don't want to say it's common for Lehends, because it's not an all-the-time pick, but I've seen it in the Yuumi. I love it. I love the concept behind it. Against the Leona and the Aphelios, not sure what to expect.
We'll have to see. I mean, the good news is he has TP, right? So early trades will suck regardless, and it will be hard for him to farm with the Aphelios being ranged and Leona having kill pressure. They might give up the push. They might get pushed in, of course, but the TP will help when he gets all in. But they might be late invading bot here, RNG. They are for sure. 1 minute 20, jungler in the bot side river. Will Ruler spot it? Yes, he will. Can they contest the 3v3? The answer is no!
The flash out is big.
Ming, really aggressive right now. Ruler has to just ditch this bot side. They can't contest this. Peanut's going to start on his Wolves. We have to track how Peanut answers this. Can he move into the top side to take away Wei's red buff? And is it worth it? Do you want to leave your Singed Senna alone in a 3v2?
That's what I'm actually so scared of, because for RNG, we're going to hit on it, having kind of a counter matchup in top, you have a stronger mid-jungle nearly game. If Gala and Ming can get ahead, I feel like Wei's just going to have complete control of the map.
This is a great map state you have to imagine here for RNG. It's so hard for Lehends to be able to farm now in this 3v2, and Peanut hasn't even moved into the top side. That ward on the entrance red there by RNG just at the top of your screen will spot whether Peanut does that, and if he does, the collapse can come in from RNG. Xiaohu will get towards level 3 by the time he arrives at this point, and Wei can move through mid now to cover it off, it looks like.
Here we go. Chovy, did he take the Q? He might have, or is he just waiting as long as possible? Forced the flash out, he did. Q and W, no E yet.
I think the reason that he flashes here is because he will get chased down to the point where he'll inevitably have to flash, and he'll get chunked out. And he has no TP. So his lane's pushing out, early flash to keep an health bar, but they're coming back for more.
Go one more time, Cloud's coming out from Chovy, running for the hills, only level 2. One more shot from the gun, can he finish it? Chovy ticking, Chovy right back way! Oh, it's so close.
That was so dicey for RNG, which sucks because Wei has had such terrific pathing in this first few minutes, getting so much done, already 2 flashes blown, but that was close.
I think the Q from Wei there was on top of Chovy rather than in front of where he was running, so the Q2 bounce back didn't actually do any damage. Maybe if that hit, they could have got the kill, but this opened up a window for Peanut to move into the top side jungle and actually take away this red buff, which he had no business in doing so, but because RNG's mid jungle just blew their sums and Wei was low HP, he had to go to Wolves to heal up, and now he's going to lose his buff.
And that's massive, because initially that level 1 disrupted so much of what Gen.G might have wanted to do in the early game, but with Wei overcommitting just a little bit there on that play, ultimately it means that Peanut's going to get something back, but they're just going to continue to force here. Doran not going to get the time to do anything.
Here they come, dive inbound, 3 versus 1.
Doran, what are you going to do? Stun coming out, you can't do anything. They're just going to point and click you down. Oh, it's effortless. It's a clean dive for RNG.
And this RNG team has just been so proactive in only the first 3 minutes of the game. I like how immediately Wei shifts from doing Raptors. Once Breathe communicates, hey, I have this wave set up, we can go for it. Xiaohu at push and mid, and everything looking good.
Peanut been a bit sneaky, took away the red, took away the Raptors as well, but he had to watch his top laner die all the meantime. Wei just giving up those camps to make that top dive happen. And like I said, Drakos, a lot of proactivity coming out from RNG. They level 1 invade bot, then they look for mid gank twice, and then they go towards the top and look for a dive. Gen.G yet to respond, and in isolation, this bot matchup, the Aphelios is slowly getting ahead as expected.
And while they weren't able to kill Chovy, they did the other thing that is so important for RNG, which is free Xiaohu up to roam. You highlighted it earlier, Lyric. This is everything for this squad. Xiaohu being the guy who can build leads in any lane once he's freed up to get out of his own.
And I'm curious to see if they want to go back and look for another opportunity top once Wei clears out his camps and, you know, kind of inevitably paths up there, or if they're going to look to make something happen right now. They already have some vision in the bottom half of the river. Looks like waves coming into Gala and Ming, and there might be some potential.
It's important to note, however, in the midst of everything, big CS leads for both Doran and Peanut. Wei, of course, grabbing the kill helps to get this rated. Dirk will help that early clear a decent amount, but it doesn't make Breeze's life any easier in the early laning phase, especially now that Doran's ticked over to level 5, has double Doran's items, and that Q cooldown once you have 3 points in it, pretty low.
Yeah, the beauty is, I suppose for Breeze, though, is he has TP, so he'll let this wave come in, he'll catch it up, he'll still be down in CS, but he can take aggressive trades if he wants, but Wei's on the bot side right now. Punish Gen.G's bot lane for pushing in 10 CS lead for Gala right now, and they want to make this wave crash because it's kind of frozen for RNG, so Gala will try to hold it a little bit. And like I said, I mean, the Aatrox into Jax, it's actually pretty good early once he gets 3 points in Q. The cooldown's a lot lower, can trade pretty aggressively. And Xiaohu getting a bit of vision. RNG's mid-jungle have pulled off one dive. They're looking for roams around the map.
Yeah, again, going back to Gala, holding this wave here. I mean, already finding such a sizable advantage in this matchup. And I mean, when you play Senna plus anything into like an AD carry, right, it's a bit rough going up and trying to get farm, but RNG really trying to maximize the advantage that they have. They weren't able to make the roam before that Xiaohu made because Chovy cleared out some vision, but now that Xiaohu has re-cleared that for themselves, they always could look for the repeat play.
I think the biggest thing so far is RNG's bot lane's winning in isolation. They shut down mid level 1 and 2, and they shut down top level 3. So these lanes that maybe the Azir having to push into Lissandra, it's just disappeared. The bot lane in isolation and top lane, as good as it's going for Doran right now, that kill really helps Breathe out. Now he's TP'd back after taking some bad trades. Waves pushing out, Wei is on the way to cover that. Bot lane's also bouncing here for RNG, but Ruler rushing those boots of swiftness doesn't have as much damage, I think, so they can't look for those 2v2 all in. So the game's slowing down a little bit now. 500-600 gold lead over to RNG. Peanut, see what he can get done. Just looking for some information here, looking to collapse towards top side, but will decide to get the grab instead.
Yeah, not a lot going to happen. We'll see what changes as level 6 start to come out for the junglers. Level 6 for Xiaohu, of course, already up and available. On the way. Peanut now running. This is going to back off here. Treat now coming in just to defend on the top side. RNG looking for a rinse and repeat. Of course, can't stop the Lissandra E in, so the initial setup still very easy to pull off, but mostly just forcing a bit of time out from Peanut. Xiaohu gonna have to be careful about how he returns to lane. Individually in the 1v1, Azir still a big threat. Chovy just gonna settle for a bit of poke for now.
Yeah, Chovy hovering around. I think RNG knew that the longer they stand in that tower, the worse it gets, and maybe they weren't confident that they had the damage to one-shot the Aatrox. Xiaohu even swapping over to the Ignite though. But again, this bot lane, 30 CS lead towards Gala as Lehends catches it. It's getting really tough down here. And I think it's inevitable before the time that the RNG just starts stacking these dragons. I mean, they have constant bot push, they're controlling the wave. All they need is Wei to hover down here to get these dragons. Herald spawning in 30 seconds, so we'll see if Gen.G decide to respond or look for any kind of cross maps.
I'm curious to see if RNG really want to commit to the dragon play, because back in the LPL, RNG way more of a team focused on the Rift Herald, but we have seen in play-ins, RNG actually have been taking quite a few early Drakes and just playing to stack those up. With Wei being here already, that might be the play, but Chovy having Cryo, they're going to be able to go for it just yet.
Yep, Chovy with Cleanse available as well, makes it a lot easier for him to step forward with some confidence here. RNG collapsing on the top side, Gala pulled up as well. Bot side for Rule and Lehends, not really a fast pushing duo. Of course, Synth Poison actually burns through the wave pretty quickly, so they might be able to get some pressure, maybe a single plate back or two on the bottom side. In the meantime, though, RNG uncontested on this Herald.
And Gala being here makes me wonder if they're just going to full swap. He's hovering back towards mid now, but they're going to lose a lot of creep spot. They're going to lose a dragon as well for this, so I feel like this could have been a play that they played a little bit better, where they actually just push bot lane, have Gala go back there in the first place, then move towards mid and secure the Herald with that numbers advantage. But Chovy
locked down. Oh, and the CC chain is beautiful. Flawlessly timed from Gala, Ming, and Xiaohu to lock him down.
Like you said, just the coordination there. Xiaohu going in, locking Chovy down, and then Gala having the gravitum, able to follow up. Didn't matter that Chovy had the cleanse, instantly goes down. Didn't commit the flash, so at least no type of repeat play you have to be too afraid of, but huge kill for RNG.
Yeah, great play there, punishing Chovy. He's been under a lot of pressure this game with Wei just running through mid constantly from the early stages, and Xiaohu, of course, the second he dings over to 6, but despite the cleanse, they do have enough CC to at least burst him out, push him out of lane, if not get a kill if Ming's around. Doran doing pretty well up in his top lane, up against Breathe. Dragon wasn't taken by Gen.G. They got a plate, they got a couple waves in, but they're still down in CS, and Gala will still get this push. Peanut now on this top side.
Maybe looking to make something happen. Breathe, no counter strike. Maybe anticipating some sort of gank to come in from Wei, but instead just focusing on getting the wave in, trying to make sure Breathe cannot just freeze it here.
It's quite interesting that RNG haven't really put too much attention top, right? With the one early gank, but that's been about it. Just leaving Breathe to kind of, to his own devices, scale up for later on.
Go. Oh. Resisting.
Short trades from the Jax. Just wants to queue in, threaten the stun, and then back away, and then keep range on the Aatrox to make sure he doesn't get poked out by the Qs. Peanut's in a base. RNG didn't have information on the enemy jungler, but they have so much vision to work with now that they can assume that he is towards the top side. So RNG have so much agency now in the fact that Breed will get a base off. He's not under threat. 4-man bot side, they get a dragon and bot vision. Look at the vision on the bot side. Raptors, Red, Krugs, everything is warded. And they have a Herald too, so I think RNG can just work with mid and bot push, constantly threaten these plays, and eventually Herald down a tower.
Lehends with the cleanse, courtesy of the Summoner Spellbook, will not get caught out there, but that is the Drake over to the side of RNG. And they still have the Herald up and available for Wei. This has been a really solid early game for RNG, shutting down at the level 1. Yes, it went a little bit south and they weren't able to kill Chovy, but it freed up Xiaohu to roam to the top side. Pretty consistent thus far. See if Gen.G can kind of recover and make some plays of their own, but it'll be tough as long as RNG are still holding on to that Herald.
Yeah, we've seen Peanut primarily kind of just shadowing what RNG been looking to do. Hasn't really had the opportunity to make any plays for himself as Lehends.
You're not supposed to chase the Singe, but I don't know if that applies for the support Singe. There, gonna force the flash out at least. Lehends will back away.
Yeah, Ming just using the E flash there. Second time he's done that this game to keep forcing flashes out of Gen.G. First it was Ruler, now it's Lehends. That's a TP bot, so Lehends with the spellbook, of course, has TP.
Ruler now caught out, big burst damage now coming in. Not quite enough with the Graves ultimate, but here comes Peanut. They're looking to keep this one going. Ruler laying down the ult on the backside. They just don't have the damage on the bottom side. Lehends building a bit of AP, but not quite enough to finish any kills.
Xiaohu TPing to that bot tier when he thought the fight would be a little bit more extended. Wants to make sure he was first, despite Chovy contesting that mid push. Just sacrificed his lane to make sure that RNG would win the fight if Gen.G decided to chase. Nothing comes of it.
RNG, their Rift Herald is actually incredibly close to timing out. I wonder if they're sending Gala and Ming mid now with Wei. Drop the Herald, get some gold onto AD carry. Doing a nice job having Xiaohu cover in that bottom lane.
Our Wei has so much discipline, doesn't take the wave. Could be an easy Q there, just get himself ahead, be a bit greedy, but he decides not to. Good guy Wei.
That's how I know you're a jungler. You're praising him because he's not auto-attacking a cannon creep in a pro game.
So juicy. Hang on a second, Lehends.
Lehends, the flip back. Xiaohu not a ton of mana, should just be able to escape here, but Lehends definitely a nuisance, to say the least.
So there's the Herald mid. Gold going over to the jungle bot lane of RNG, which are now going to hang around this mid lane. They don't have TP on Xiaohu, so that means that they can defend Breathe a lot easier by having their bot lane mid, so they can cover both sides. Gen.G are going to match it, and this is the threat of having the mid push. You can constantly hover towards the bot side. But Gala's just going to come down here and catch the wave while Xiaohu bases. Lehends just playing hide and seek with people right now with his Hex Flash.
I mean, you are winning the mental game, but
Ult's just around the corner. Huge increase to armor and MR.
He's out, I think.
But they're going to be able to grab a lot of plates here. Gala, I'm not sure how much ammo he has left on Infernum or when the Chakram will be back up. But if he has access to the white gun, he's going to shred through this tower. Ruler on the way down, and oh, he's a very squishy boy. Will he walk into the darkness?
Ruler.
Oh my God, audience. He's gone out!
He's dead.
Oh, the cheers! It should have warned him, but he couldn't hear it through all the white noise. Lehends now moving forward, getting pulled back. The Singe so incredibly obnoxious. Way now running for his heels. Peanut, it's a clean flash in. The knock up, the damage, the bow of Lehends will find the kill with the poison. The lock-in coming in from Gala on the backside. Big burst damage coming in from the combo. Enough to finish the job, and Gala will grab a kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Chovy versus Xiaohu, a 1v1. Chovy now chasing for the kill. Flash available. Doesn't look like he wants to use it.
No more gap close, doesn't have the E up, but it's just a huge fight in the bot side. RNG win this 3v3 so incredibly hard. Ruder has no sums, he dies instantly. Wei tries to escape. Really good play by Peanut to shut down his ult, kind of gap close to get away by flash Wing. But RNG are just dominating this game through bot lane. Lehends just really far behind right now.
And we've seen RNG just, again, pushing the pace of the game. This is something I don't think Gen.G experienced too much back in the LCK, but we're going to see here what happened. Just incredible patience coming out from RNG, able to land the Zenith play, but here Caedrel gets so dicey.
Yeah, it does, and this is where Peanut makes this great play to stop Wei from getting the dash. But look at the vision in the top left. Gen.G are putting their wards defensively in their own jungle. That's how hard it is for them to contest River right now. RNG own the mid-bot side of the map, anyone steps up. Lehends would have been dove if he didn't base. Ruler walks into his own jungle, he dies. It's really hard for them to find any angles right now. And with Dragon up in 50 seconds, I think RNG are just going to be able to secure that really easily. Herald's up. Can Gen.G fight that as well? I don't think they can.
I think the big struggle right now, honestly, is that Peanut and Lehends, the two members who have a lot more freedom to move around the map, don't have a lot of damage. So the later we get, maybe it'll become more of a non-issue. But right now, RNG is so much easier for them to take these fights, to burst out these individual targets. It takes so long for Gen.G to finish anybody. They're just going to walk in, take this Herald. Gen.G opting for the spectator play. Walked into the rift, threatened, hoped maybe RNG would back off, but it does not work.
And Xiaohu's hovering around mid right now. Away. Almost gets pulled back into Doran, so Xiaohu can clear the mid wave. So what RNG have done there is a 4-1 rotation, right? Your 4 from mid go top, your 1 from bot goes mid, and you don't lose anything. The only thing that RNG have to be scared about is being collapsed on by a 5-man because Xiaohu has no TP, but they will all base, come back out on the map, and then start contesting this dragon, which is about to spawn. So Gen.G maybe have to cross map here, keep their members topside, try to threaten this top tier 1, try to dive, breathe.
Lehends coming in, now grounded, gonna throw him back in, not quite gonna hit the root. He's leaning over, now he's looking for the 1v1 with Ruler. Ruler running. The snare, where's he going to go? Lehends chasing him down, the Singe feels like inevitability, breathe just slowly, but surely getting burned down, but no!
What the?
Wait, how does he get one back? The patience to hold the leap strike!
Yeah, so huge coming out for Breathe. The fact that he made that happen, this is why RNG are so happy to give him this Jax.
And he even flashed into the bloody wall. He didn't escape. He misplayed it, but still managed to find a kill. Gala's fighting Peanut here.
Gala leaping away. Chovy! Massive shutdown. 500 gold into his back pocket. Everything for the Azir.
And that could be the difference maker. Chovy with some gold, Chovy with some items. He will outrange everyone on the side of RNG and be able to put up huge DPS later on if Gen.G can keep holding on.
Wei still has this Herald, of course. They got the Dragon too, so they can Herald this mid tower if they want to kill it and take that tower down. Sometimes we see teams hold this Herald, the second one, for a tier 2. Obviously gives a lot more gold and they've cracked open bot, so maybe that's what they're waiting for. But up against an Azir, I think it's just worth it to get that tower down and keep the control around the map.
I think especially because we've seen a lot of RNG's success have come from that vision line. They've pushed into Gen.G's jungle, break open mid-turret, they'll be able to do that top side. But this play from Breathe was bonkers.
It really was. The root doesn't land with the flip into the Singe W, so he tries to escape here. Let's watch Breathe. He flashes into the wall right now. So he doesn't escape, but then he still turns around and finds a kill onto Ruler. All the meanwhile, Ming finds Chovy. So there's a lot of skirmishing going on the map. Look at the damage.
Man. I have never been so excited watching a dude hit somebody with a lamppost before, but does it for me.
Ruler's laughing that one off. He's like, okay, well, I just got absolutely one shot. Not going to do that one again. RNG celebrating the 1-for-1 trade at a numbers advantage in a 1v4, of course. And now Xiaohu's on towards his bot side. So RNG sitting in a 1-3-1, will control the mid push, have the Herald, agency still all in their favor. 2,000 gold lead. We'll see how Gen.G defend the map right now.
Wei has the Herald. And like you said, I mean, mid-turret's still up. It feels like this is a problem that RNG need to deal with. Chovy only gets closer and closer to his second item. He's going to be able to non-stop clear these waves.
Peanut Doran on the top side. Breathe pretty strong, but no sums available to him. Waiting for the pullback to ensure that they can knock him into the wall. That's the chain CC. TP now coming in. Immediately Gen.G know that it's time to get out. They do not overcommit to the play. Doran going to ult for the extra movement speed. Xiaohu coming in now. They're going to look for the knockback, but it whiffs! Peanut whiffs completely, and now Doran is a dead man walking. Breathe will grab another kill.
RNG, they commit the TPs and they find the play. It finally gives them an opening to use this Rift Herald. We see Chovy doesn't commit for the full turret on bot side, does stop the recall and does go for it.
So then how much can RNG get on this top side if the Herald's going to kill the tower? I wonder if RNG are going to push in mid and move towards this top tier 2 while they see Chovy down there. Is there a threat of a tier 2? I don't think it is. I think they're kind of saying that you either defend your mid tower or your top tower. And it looks like RNG will get the mid tower instead. Wei looking for a dive even.
Going forward, Ruler in trouble. Ruler's just so squishy. Oh, the sidestep on the ultimate is clean. RNG, are they going to go for more here? Fishing for the charge. Peanut going to move in, has the smite, auto attack. Maybe can finish it before it crashes. That's big, bit of extra damage. RNG get the and one on the Herald charges.
RNG are just running away with this game. You look at the game state and you ask yourself, what can Gen.G actually do? They decide on a top dive, but then Xiaohu instantly TPs. Ming's already there because of mid push, and boom, collapse comes in. Peanut misses that ult. Maybe if he knocked Breathe away, Doran could live here. Regardless, Wei's around, Herald the top tier 1, mid tower falls, top tier 2 is extremely low from the second charge. It's all falling apart for Gen.G.
It's so hard for Gen.G. Because Ruler especially just needs time. He needs souls. He needs to be able to follow Peanut around and grab souls from these jungle camps, but they're losing chunks of jungle. Peanut now stepping in to clear this Gromp, but Ruler has to go back to mid lane in the meantime, and it's just such a long road ahead of Gen.G if they do want to come back in this game. It's a 3K deficit, it's 2 Drakes. RNG are gonna demand that Gen.G fight them. If not for this Drake, then for the next one.
I think especially with the power spikes, but Lehends not gonna be caught out. Does have the flash available, so for RNG looking forward, again, the big thing to me is just Gala. Gala being so far ahead of the Gen.G bottom lane, has had the Gale Force for a while, and I imagine sitting on a decent bit of gold.
It's just every skirmish, every pan of a camera to a fight. It's RNG flashing forwards and Gen.G flashing backwards. Right now, they're just catching waves. Baron is up. RNG's Baron, not the fastest. We'll see what guns Gala can get to see if they want to rush it down. But their easy win condition right now is dragon stacking. 50 seconds until the Infernal Dragon spawns. And they can just secure that, get themselves on soul point. I think Gen.G are forced to fight this next dragon in 40 seconds.
It's going to be a tough arena to fight in, especially if RNG push out their lanes, get the first vision set up. Going into the Lissandra does not feel good. Similarly with Gala, great guns for a fight. Well played, obviously a sign of a match class Aphelios when you've always got the right guns for the exchange. Way laying down a little bit of poke already. Peanut, no real sustain, no Warmogs to his name, not going to be able to heal that up before the fight to come.
A little bit of control for Gen.G. They managed to get a pink in that mid brush, and they're trying to contest this pixel brush. No real huge threat of an engage, just Xiaohu. That's the only person they need to track. Lehends no flash, Ruler no flash. If he lands on those two in a fight, they will be absolutely blown up by RNG with the Graves ult follow-up, the Jax diving in, the Leona ult. Battle lines are drawn. Gen.G coming through mid, RNG on the bot side of this fight. What can Chovy get done? Does he go in? Does he play for front to back? How does Doran navigate through this fight as Xiaohu is looking?
Tension.
This could be huge.
Look up Chovy and a flank on the backside, but Chovy still managed to get out. No, Chovy taken down. Gala's massive. It's all about Gala. It's all about the chakrams. Gen.G running for the hills. Gala says not today. Pushes them away, forces them back, and will take the Infernal.
And now RNG on soul point. They're going to be able to make their way towards mid, push this in, potentially even look towards a Baron. Such a long death timer on Chovy.
They're running towards the top side of the river. I think you might be right. Xiaohu does have TP up. It just came off the spellbook cooldown, so they're going to force this Baron. It's on Doran, Peanut, and Chovy to contest this. Ming is low. Not much to work with, though. No ultimates. Peanut's on the bot side of the map. This is gone.
This is the perfect guns for Aphelios. They just shred through this. They got 380 threats just banging on this Baron. It's going to get knocked down. RNG in complete control of the game. Dominating fight. Both objectives to their name. 5K gold lead.
And Xiaohu and Breathe are really far down in CS, 40, 50 CS deficits, but it's the skirmishes where they're excelling, and they walk into the meat grinder of RNG. Gen.G are really lucky here. If Xiaohu gets this W ult off, they're all dead. Luckily, he gets pushed back just in time before he does get that ult off, but even still, RNG just runs straight through them.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that Gala, I don't know if it's the Moonlight Vigil or Q coming out from the Calibrum, but just able to get that last tick of damage to take down Chovy, who he said kind of needs to be this huge playmaker, this huge DPS source for Gen.G.
Look at the levels on the solo lanes. Breathe and Xiaohu are down a level right now. That's how much they're kind of losing the lane in Breeze's case, getting pushed in by Doran, and the amount of the Xiaohu's just giving up waves to roam around and TP for the team, TP for the skirmishes. Jungle and bot lane ahead for RNG right now. How do they set up with this Baron? They've got a 4-1 going on as Chovy takes his top tier 1. Doesn't have the TP, so there's a number disadvantage for Gen.G on the rest of the map. I suppose RNG will just look to force dives if Gen.G decides to step up.
Ult up for Xiaohu already as well. They have the CC available, Ming having it, so Doran gonna have to be careful. At the very least, Ming could just apply this pressure, zone him off. They do it, they're gonna be able to get this one very easily, and Breathe already having a way coming up in bot.
Oh, Lehends. Kind of hard to approach the Baron Empowered Wave as a Singe, not gonna lie. Difficult for him now. Breathe, keeping the pressure up. RNG should just be able to walk in, take down these tier 2 towers. First Baron always feels just like your right to walk into every lane, take every tier 2. Pushing it harder, or further rather though, is a different story as Lehends will clear this wave.
Yeah, pushing into tier 3s 23 minutes in is really difficult, and unless the enemy team makes a mistake, they can just stand next to towers and clear waves. The terrain around the tier 3 is so much easier to defend than the terrain around a tier 2. So mid and bot tier 2 fall. What RNG will do is they'll do an exact same 4-1 setup, but they'll put Breathe top this time to crack open the top tier 2. RNG looking to fight though. Breathe has TP.
Peanut in the area. Ooh, Zenith Blade just barely not connecting. Doran able to make it out of that one.
RNG being so aggressive with their tools available. And the fact that they're still just pretty much running them down throughout their own jungle is crazy. They have the wave set up in mid, and like you said, Caedrel, just getting that top wave pushed in to make the play for this inner turret.
And there's no defense really, is there? Unless Gen.G just decided to take a fight, but lacking the Aatrox ult. Doran just picked up the death dance, so small spikes coming in. They'll try their best to defend this, but 40 seconds left on this Baron buff gives RNG 2 waves to play on. The question is, do they look to just full-on dive here? They're giving up mid-wave. They're just sending 5 members top here. Gen.G matching. Lehends on the way.
Now moving in, Peanut trying to find a bit of an engage here, just a bit of poke now traded back. Doran on the retreat, Xiaohu going back in, Peanut now locked out, locked down, big Aphelios ult on the backside, but no follow-up quite yet. RNG finding one so far, traded back on the opposite side. Support for jungle in the end.
So 1 for 1.
Honestly, RNG, I think, not able to find the fight they want, right? Gen.G under their turret, Gen.G able to use those safety tools they have, and things like the Senna ultimate, so the collapse can't really get any more than Peanut.
Yeah, Peanut gets absolutely shredded through. Has a lot of tenacity, but RNG does have a lot of damage. Gala wasn't even hitting him in that fight, and he still got melted straight through. Needs to be really careful on stepping up. I think he was trying to bait out some cooldowns here and then just escape afterwards. See him dashing onto Xiaohu, but he used his Q, I believe, on the ground there to clear the creep, so he didn't get a phase rush proc. And by the time he's trying to escape here, he's already engaged upon. Ming does go quite deep. I think he tried to E Peanut there and actually hit Lehends on the backside, so he went under tower. He ends up falling, and Gen.G defend his top tier 2.
And really good ult from Gala there, but Gen.G either with enough peace of mind or a little bit of luck to step just out of range of each other to stop that from being a bigger issue. Senna shield as well, obviously mitigating a lot of that upfront damage. Will only be a stronger defensive tool as we get later and later into the game. Peanut and Doran sticking together, trying to get something done on this map. 45 seconds away from Infernal. This Infernal is everything. RNG take it, it feels like there's almost no way for Gen.G to come back.
Yeah, and when we look in the inventories of RNG members, right, Xiaohu finally able to finish off the Zanyas. We have a stopwatch for Gala, so having a lot of these defensive tools that if Gen.G are able to find a bit of a nice engage for themselves, it still seems like RNG have the tools necessary to at least be able to survive, you know, engage from Peanut. If Lehends maybe flashes in and it is able to find an angle.
Gen.G's biggest hope right now is Chovy. Just picked up the Rabadon's death cap, 285 CS, level 15. He will dish out a lot of damage if RNG overcommit. It's just this initial engage of RNG is just so powerful that someone always dies from Gen.G, and then the Lissandra reset comes forwards and they can start to push through. Doran might be caught here, he needs to be careful.
Oh! Out, ulti coming in, maybe enough healing. Do they have enough damage to finish him off? He has so much armor. The damage from Lissandra, the only real threat, but no, they're gonna finish him. Way taking him down. The Thrall coming through as well. Gen.G forced to back away. They have to be ready to contest, but Breathe already on the flank.
It's a 4v5 for a soul. It looks as good as done here if RNG just waits for Breathe to TP back in and threaten Gen.G if they decide to walk up. Can Peanut sacrifice himself to steal it? Will RNG even let him?
Moonlight Vigil goes wide. Ming getting chunked down, getting lower and lower. That's Infernal Soul, and now they can take the fight to follow, but instead RNG backing away, knowing they've already been chunked. Gala, they can't afford to walk into that Aphelios turret. They're going to take so much damage if they do. Lehends losing a third of his HP just for walking in. RNG now on the retreat. They walk away with the major objective. It is nigh impossible now for Gen.G.
A lot of respect from RNG in a 5v4 in a position where your top laner's TPing back. You have a soul, but then you decide not to pull the trigger and set up for Baron instead.
Yeah, I guess maybe because RNG having no ultimates available other than Ming's, not really wanting to take a risky fight, especially when Gen.G still have all their tools up. But like you said, Baron coming up in 20 seconds seems like it should be very easy for RNG to pivot to that objective and start setting up to break down these inhibitors.
What is Gala going to buy here from base? Just base has a BF sword and a stopwatch, hasn't completed an Infinity Edge yet, but I think he's getting very, very close. But Baron's going to be the aim of the game. RNG is just going to start it and look for a turn, you have to imagine, after they push in mid waves. And that's what Gen.G want to stop. They don't want to lose any mid push. They want to keep this mid push in so they can at least get some vision in this topside river while RNG's on a reset. Maybe even try to force this mid tier one, but Xiaohu has TP and needs to be careful. Pings on the bot side, wards around the entrance red. Xiaohu could just TP behind them here. It's a bit far at this point. Gen.G now in this river.
And Xiaohu is terrifying, because the Poppy solves so many problems for the side of Gen.G, but it does not stop Xiaohu from getting into your backline. Incredibly difficult. Gala with a potential follow-up as well. Has the Infirm ready. Big blue ulti. Could seal the deal on the team fight very quickly. Ming fishing, looking for a little bit of a pick. Cleanse comes out from Lehends. Summoner Spellbook as well for a bit of extra movement speed. Ferries him out to safety. Gen.G staying strong in the mid lane. High risk every time they walk forward. If Xiaohu's waiting over a wall, it could spell the end of the game. Despite that, they're walking forward with confidence. They're contesting the Baron pit. They're contesting this vision.
I think Gen.G know if they give up this Baron vision for 5 to 10 seconds, it's as good as gone. But RNG are slowing it down. Gala wants to base here and pick up IE. I imagine there it is. Infinity Edge picked up. He was sitting on a lot of gold. This is Gen.G's one window to force Baron. I think they know he based. I think they know that the RNG was stalling for this spike. This is their only window back into the game.
An incredible read, but will it pay off? Gala running forward, the bear getting lower and lower. 5K, 4K, waiting over the wall. Here comes Xiaohu. Oh, again, looking to one-shot ruler, goes golden, stops from disengaging. Chovy waiting over the wall. The Sand Soldiers, how much work can they do? Chovy looking to be the difference maker. Xiaohu now taken down, but no, Gala! Monster damage from the graves in the Aphelios. RNG slaughter Gen.G in the fight.
Xiaohu bought so much time, but the second Wayne Gala were able to join up so much AoE damage coming out from Wayne Gala's ultimates, and this might just be over.
There's the 3-item spike that RNG was waiting for. That's why there was 1 to 2 minutes downtime, and Gala made a hell of an arrival. Instantly destroys Gen.G, and they might just end it here.
And despite an inconsistent play-in stage, RNG coming out with an incredible showing in game 1 versus Gen.G. Chovy doing what he can to hold the line, but it will not be enough. RNG taking their first win of the group stage.
Like you said, they might have been shaky in play-ins, dropped the game to DFM, weren't able to take down DRX, but I mean, heck,